Here's a real challenge. Your production has some DV-Cam sources, some HD, and some XD-Cam SD widescreen sources. How do you integrate all those different formats? Well, it's actually pretty easy with the MVS 3000's optional format converter. All right, so it's important to know that you can set two different modes on our format converters. So I'm going to go to the System menu, and I'm going to select Unit Config under Switcher 1. You can see here that I have a choice of either 8 in or 4 in and 2 out. What's selected now is 4 in, 2 out. And what that means is that I can have 4 conversions coming in and 2 conversions going out. I could also select 8 in and no out if I wanted that. So we're going to leave it on 4 in and 2 out. And now I'm going to go back to the System menu and go to Format. So up in the upper right-hand corner here, you can see that it's saying what the source that input 1 through 4 is expecting. So it's expecting 480i 59.9 FAR or NTSC standard definition. Inputs 5 through 8 are grayed out because we decided not to use that feature and turn on outputs 1 and 2 instead. And outputs 1 through 2 will be set to 1080i 59.9 FAR. So if we wanted to change these, we'll go into the Format Converter, and we can go over here and select Input 1 through 4 Format. And these are the formats that I can tell the switcher it should be looking for on Format Converter 1, 2, 3, and 4. Right now it's set to 480i or NTSC SD. I can also set it to 720p or frame delay mode. Now, frame delay mode can be anywhere from 1 to 8 frames of delay. At 1 frame delay, it's a frame sync. I can put non-synchronous sources into the switcher. From 1 to 8, though, I can dial up and use maybe something like a virtual set system, which might have a few frames of delay, and I want to make the input converter follow that much delay. We're going to set this back to 480i, leave it where it was. So let's go up here and bring a SD source in. Now, I've taken one of the XD-Cam machines I have and put it in SD mode. So in order to see that, a couple things have to happen. First of all, on my panel, I need to assign the format converter to one of the table buttons. So we're going to come over here, and you can see right here that I've already got Format Converter 1 and Format Converter 2 on buttons. And if you look over here, you can see them right here. Here's XD-Cam 1, 2, 3, 4, my DDR, a blank one, and Format Converter 1 and 2. Now, if I push this right now, nothing appears because you can route any source into the Format Converter. To do that, we're going to go to Engineering Setup, Switcher, Input. And I'm going to scroll down right here until I find Format Converter 1, and I'm going to say Format Converter Input Select. And here is all of my inputs. So I happen to know that it's input number 7, and I labeled it earlier, SD source, and I'm going to hit Set, and it's going to put it into the Format Converter, and there it is. I can also come back over here into Input and do a Format Converter Adjust. Now what this lets me do is tell the switcher what aspect ratio it should be expecting from this source. So right here I have edge crop, which is what it is. I can do letterbox, which will actually blow it up, and squeeze, which will expect an anamorphic squeeze. Now obviously this doesn't look right. We're going to go back to edge crop, so it's a 4:3. Now I can set other things like the edge crop position, and if I can do that, I can change where the edge crop is occurring. Over here, you can see that. I'll also center that back up. Okay, so this is all fine and great. So we're going between XD-Cam machines here, and then we're going to go over to our standard def source. But there's something missing. I don't want these black edges on the screen. Now, a real good way to take care of the black edges is to use a keyer. You can take a mask in the middle, bring it over, but I hate that because I have to now manage not only the source, but the keyer at the same time. We have a great feature called Side Flags, which handles all of it automatically. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to come over to Switcher, and I'm going to say Config. You can see right here it says Side Flags. So I'm going to hit Side Flags, and these are all the video key pair sources in the switcher. I'm going to scroll down here until I find Format Converter 1, and there it is. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to tell the switcher that Format Converter 1 is 4:3 and not 16:9. As soon as I get off the source and come back, what will happen, boom, side flags appear. Now where do those come from? Those are coming from the utility bus on the ME bank. Remember before when we used the utility bus to fill the wipe with video, we used the same bus to fill the side flags. So if I come and select utility here, you can see that it's now high tallied because the source is on the air. If I go back to a non-format converted source, it goes low tally. So as soon as I come here, I know that my side flags are hot. I can put anything I want. I can put another deck in here, so it can be motion. I can do this, but I happen to know that I put my side flags in this particular frame memory. Now the best part of this is not only can I switch these and have my side flags automatically come up, but I can also transition. I can dissolve in and out of them with the side flags. I haven't used any keyers to do this. I can even wipe, and the side flags stay with my source at all times. Now let's take a look at the output format converter. So we're going to go to Switcher, Output, and select Format Output Select. So what we're going to do now is we have the two format converter outputs, and we want to route what's going to those. So right now, Format Converter 1 out has got Program Preset going to it. Format Converter 2 out has got aux1. Well, let's change that. Maybe I want aux2 to go to that. So now Format Converter 1 out and 2 out have these sources. But first we need to make sure that the output is the correct format. So let's go back to System, Format, select Format Converter, and we can verify right here that output 1 and 2 is set to 480i. If we wanted to change that, we could set it, say, to 720p. But we'll not do that right now. Now let's go to the switcher output, and let's set our format converter adjust. So on output 16 here is Program Preset Program 1. And again, we can go to Format Converter Adjust and say what we want that output to look like. Is it going to be edge crop, or is it going to be letterbox 16:9, or an anamorphic squeeze? Now, frame delay mode has anywhere from 1 to 8 frames of delay that's set by the user. 1 frame of delay is pretty much a frame sync, allows me to bring non-synchronous sources into the switcher. More delay might be used for things like virtual sets, where I need to delay the video on the switcher to match the processing of the CG graphics. So I'm going to set the amount of delay in the switcher input format converter menu, and I'm going to go over here and select the format converter, and right now it's on 1 frame of delay. So what I've done is I've taken my first XD-Cam deck, and what you're seeing here is with reference, and if I go to the format converter, you can see I have a small 1 frame delay so that it's frame syncing. But if I go over here and set the delay to 8, you'll see a very big difference between it. So you can set the frame delay from 1 to 8 frames. And in one more way to show you the delay, I'll do a half split screen. You can see that the top is delayed by 8 frames.